Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Vivek and today we'll be making mushroom pasta. So to prepare the mushroom pasta, we will start off by cutting some onions. I only got these red onions for this, but I think you can buy the white onions, which will be, it has a more of a sweety taste. If you get the white onions, then I think that would be better for this dish, but I could only manage to find red onions for this, so I'm gonna go with that. We also need some garlic. That should be enough. So let's prepare the garlic and the onions. Let's now cut our onion. If you add onions as the base of any dish, it really brings that good flavor to it, good taste to it. The caramelized onions especially. So you always add it to any dish, just to make it a bit more, crunchy, more tasty. These tomatoes, you can always add this, the puree. But for onions, if it becomes really crunchy with after caramelizing it, then that's the best thing you could have. Now let's prepare our garlic. You can always, slice it up with a knife, but if you crush it using this, I think it really brings out the flavor even more. That's why I always prefer to use this but it gets a little bit messy because it goes inside this thing and then you have to pull it out. But I think it's okay. So our onions and garlic are now sliced up, and let's now heat up a pan and add all the ingredients together. I also prepared like a spice mix over here, and this consists of some garlic powder, some dill, some herbs, some Italian herbs, and salt, and a little bit of milk powder. So all these things combined, it kinds of thickens the mushroom sauce, and that's what we'll be preparing over here. First we'll caramelize the onions and garlic and then prepare the sauce. Later on we'll prepare some chicken, and then we'll prepare the pasta and combine them all together. So we'll start by adding some olive oil. If you can spray some oil on it, that'll be better, but since we don't have that sprayer, I'm just spreading the oil across. I think it has heated up a bit. So we'll add our onions and garlic. So it's really up to you which kind of onions you want to use. I use red onions because it has, if it's caramelized, it tastes really good. But you can also choose the white onions, which are a little bit more sweeter and brings some kind of flavor to the food. But I like the crunch of the red onions. So while the onions and garlic are caramelizing, let's prepare some mushrooms. We need to slice them up and then we'll add it to the pan. You can use any kind of mushrooms for this, but I prefer the brown mushrooms because they taste best, I think, but you can always go for the white ones as well. It won't make a huge difference. So the onions seem to be nicely caramelized. It has that light brown color to it, so I think that's about it. Let's now add our sliced mushrooms to it. So the thing with mushrooms is that it looks like there is a lot of mushrooms in it, but actually after you saute it for a bit, kind of becomes really small, like the quantity becomes very less. I think it's because the water from the mushrooms goes out of it, and yeah, because of that it becomes like, after cooking it becomes, the quantity almost becomes like half or even less than that. So the mushrooms are blending really well with the onions and garlic, and the smell is really good. I think our mushrooms are ready. Let's now add some cream and our mix of spices to it. So let's mix it all together. And then we'll add our spice mix, which has the Italian spices, rosemary, oregano and all those things, with pepper, garlic powder, a little bit of milk powder, salt, turmeric, paprika. Doesn't need a lot of cooking, but just to blend all those spices together with the mushrooms and onions, I think it requires a little bit of sauteing, and yeah, we should be ready. Okay, our sauce is now ready. We can now move on to making the chicken and the pasta. Let's keep this aside for now. So we won't be using chicken for this. I prefer using turkey breast for this because it's a little bit more leaner and more healthier. It has less fat and a little bit more protein, and I like the texture of it. Like when you bite it, it has a really good flavor to it. So I always use turkey instead of chicken, but you can substitute it for chicken as well. So let's start by adding some oil to prepare the chicken. We also have a small spice mix for the turkey. That is, it has some pepper, salt, and a little bit of other spices like garlic powder and paprika powder, just to give it a little bit of seasoning. So let that turkey or chicken soak in all those oils and spices. And let's now throw it in the oven. Let's keep it for around 180 degrees for around like 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how you want it. So I usually prefer it to be a little bit more of like a kebab, like which has a little bit of crust on it. So I always keep it in the little bit of roasting mode, so that brings out a little bit more crunch to it, I think. But you can prepare it just the normal way. It's not really that essential. It can just be boiled as well, just in the normal stove. So while we wait for the chicken or the turkey to complete, we will prepare the pasta. So we've taken some full week spaghetti for this. Let us boil that, and then we'll add the sauce and the chicken to it. Well, you can always break the spaghetti to immerse it down in the water, but I prefer to keep it whole by just soaking it in once once half of it is already cooked. Then you push the remaining half so that it does not break, so that you can eat the whole spaghetti and you get to feel the whole thing together. So it has a different taste than breaking it apart. So let's add some salt to it. So I usually prefer to cut the chicken into small pieces and then cook it back again for another 5 to 10 minutes, because that's what brings the, it kind of like cooks inside out fully. If you just take it out in the middle, cut it apart and then put it back in, otherwise it cooks the outer part more than the inner side. So now we get a more even texture to it. It's always a good idea to stir the spaghetti while it's boiling in the water, so that it gets that even amount of water distribution across, so that it cooks more evenly, and it also gets that salt soaked into it. But you always need to keep it at a very low temperature to cook this spaghetti, because it could get overcooked pretty easily. It's really fast. So it's always a good idea to keep it at a lower temperature and then cook it for longer. So it's almost been around 5 minutes with the spaghetti. I think it's ready. Let's make sure that it's not overcooked or undercooked. So I'm using the whole wheat spaghetti for this, which is much more healthier than the other normal spaghetti which you find. So it looks like our chicken is also done, or the turkey. Let's switch it off and let's see how it is. We now need to strain the water out of the spaghetti. Let's drain as much as we can and put the rest of it in a strainer. I just reheated the sauce because it had become, so the thing with using cream is that it can get solid really fast, so you need to sometimes reheat it before you eat. Let's now plate the dish by taking some spaghetti. Let's add some of that mushroom, onion, garlic sauce. And finally some chicken pieces or turkey. You actually need to add some Parmesan cheese to it, but I'm adding the normal mozzarella because that's what I have over here. So there you go, our mushroom spaghetti is now ready. Let's try it out and see how it is. I think it's absolutely remarkable. The combination of that chicken with the sauce, the mushrooms, the spaghetti, it all comes together and creates a really great flavor. So do try it out please and let me know if it's good or not.